Hey, what's going on, man? So, I want to talk about the origin of Man Alive coaching, some of my story, how I got into really specific coaching for men. So, um, I'm recording this in 2025. 16 years ago, I kind of blew my world up, made a lot of bad decisions, and had to really go find myself, had to rebuild my life, my marriage, and some other stuff. And after that, I got into corporate consulting, and most of my work would be with C-suite executives, owners, founders, and things like that. And so I would tend to work with companies for a while, like some of them a couple years. And as I would, obviously, I'd get a little closer to some of those executives, some of the business owners, and all, and um, would go to lunch, would hang out, things like that from time to time. And I was at a restaurant one day with an executive. I won't use his name, but he just said he wanted to talk about some stuff. And he started confiding in me about his personal life, his marriage, and how he was unfulfilled inside, didn't really know what to do, how to fix it, how to reconnect with his wife, rekindle their marriage, and so forth. And he had been married for a while. And while I'm sitting across from this man, the thought hit me, I can help him. And when I came home to my wife, who now we've been married 38 years, by the way, I said to her, someone confided in me today about his marriage and about some struggles and things he has going on. And I said, I can help them. I think I need to create a coaching process that draws off of my and our story. And from that, I hired a guy to help, like he gave me deep inquiry questions to draw out the experience that I had went through of rebuilding my life, rebuilding my marriage, and all of that. And from that, I created Man Alive Coaching Experience. And the first iteration of that was I would do 3-day retreats with executives, 6 to 8 men at a time. And we'd get off the grid a little bit, and I'd walk them through the same process that I had walked through, only we were doing it in, a Friday night through a Sunday lunchtime experience. And hands down, it was an amazingly powerful experience. And I did several of those with executives, and they'd pay thousands of dollars to be there. And we'd walk through this experience that would just open their eyes, help them have some real tools in their toolbox to go back home. And what I realized after a couple of those was, as powerful as those weekends were, men were coming back to reality. It was like we had this awesome weekend, and then we'd come back to the struggles at home, personal life, and so forth. And so I pivoted and turned Man Alive into a longer process, knowing that I needed someone more than 3 days to help me change my life, and men that I was working with needed that as well. And this is several years ago now that I turned Man Alive into a coaching process that looks at 3 areas of your life. And not all men hire me for all 3. Some men will hire me for a thing, and over time we tend to end up in all of it. But the three buckets, the 3 pillars that Man Alive is founded on is your personal life, your marriage or home life, and your professional life. Because my experience was they're all 3 tied together. You can't separate them. And as highly driven men, we tend to focus on our professional life, and we may kick it and take names there, but we're bankrupt or broken at home and personally, frustrated, lacking real connection. You and your wife become more like roommates because you give so much to be successful over here, and you come home and you're tapped out. Like you have little left in the tank to give. And then as it's struggling, you have even less to give, or you give even less. I don't know which one happens there first, but you're not present. You're not really checking in. And Um, I have said that marriages drift before they crash. And when you look at your marriage and you get to a place where you're like roommates at best, you don't even know how you got there, because it's really like that straw on a camel's back. It's lots of little things that when you look at any one of them, none of them are gross and graphic that should be big enough to crash your marriage, but it's the cumulative of the no's and the arguments and the unsolved issues and not really knowing how to be vulnerable or open or authentic as a man, as a husband, and ultimately as a dad too. And then you end up with all these frustrations and angers and things that really get crazy in here. And some guys, if you're not really careful, you cross boundaries and get into a lot of trouble to where you're busting stuff instead of repairing it. And from that, I now work one-on-one with a lot of men that my core value is when a man gets it right, your world is better. And when you don't, your world suffers. And I help men thrive personally, maritally, relationally, and also professionally. I help businesses scale and double and all of that. But I'm not interested in that if we're making a lot of money and at home you're lacking respect and fulfillment. I'd much rather help a man thrive in all three areas than hire me to make money. It's not an interest to me. I think all life happens inside and flows out. And when you get this right, the rest of it it's a byproduct of those things. So anyway, I want to invite you that if any of this resonates, feel free to email me, comment on this video. My email is bob@bobgrovescoaching.com, bob@bobgrovescoaching.com. Tell me how you found me, or you found me through YouTube, whatever works, just so I can know how to reply to you and what I may be. Here's what we would do if you touch base. I'd send you a scheduling link. We'd get on a coaching call. I don't have to sell my coaching, so it's not a sales pitch. I'd simply coach you. You bring a problem, a challenge to the call, and I'll help you with it. And if you want to talk about coaching and how I could walk with you, we'll talk about it. I won't try to sell you, though, because I love helping men. I just believe the world is better the more men get it right. So thanks for watching. And I'm planning on this being the first of many videos now. All right. Stay strong. Have an amazing day.